projects.
Big in the Asheville music scene.
Hey, we know another
Speaking
Chris.
of guests and Chris's, we have a wonderful surprise for you, treat for you tonight, everybody. Chris Myers here. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, guys. Happy Friday.
And happy Friday to you. And I was so excited to hear about this terrific new release. Leo, I want to hear all about it. You brought in some swag and shared this beautiful stuff. But Chris, you've been here before. We'd just like to jump in and start the show with a song, if you'd be so kind.
Kirk, I'd be thrilled to do it. This is Every One of Us. It's sort of a just talk about things that we're going to experience at some point in our life, or if we already have. We're all kind of connected with similar emotions, so it's one of those things.
The pain of goodbyes. Oh, there's no getting away from that. When you're hurt by lies, oh, that's worse than a stab in the back. Every one of us is gonna go through it. Chew it up, spit it out, but push through it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the years gone by, you're nowhere near where you thought you'd be at. Still you get up and try. Oh, you find joy at the running of the stride. Every one of us is gonna go through it. Chew it up, spit it out, or push through it. Yeah, every one of us is gonna get to it. Yeah, we build it up, screw it up, and consume it. Yeah, yeah. On your last breath, will you think of what you're leaving behind? Or will you be scared of death? Oh, what it is that you might find. Every one of us is gonna go through it. Chew it up, spit it out, or push through it. Every one of us is gonna get to it. Yeah, we build it up, screw it up, and consume it. Yeah, we build it up, build it up, build it up, up, up. Yeah, we build it up, build it up, build it up, up, up. Yeah, we build it up, build it up, build it up, up, up. Yeah, we build it up, build it up, build it up, up, up. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, whoa,
Yes, sir. Chris Myers live here in the Past the Hat Studios. Another fantastic start.
And that is the first track on
It is indeed.
Chris's new release, Leo. Chris, really nice looking record here. Record, I still call them records. And it's and tell us about who did the artwork on this.
Well, both my lovely daughters contributed to that. My youngest daughter, Elizabeth, painted the Leo sign, and I said I want the Leo sign just with a little more flair to it. And of course, she kind of put a little some brush strokes in there, and a little. It also kind of, if you look at it, has a feminine side to it too, which I really.
Well,
love.
I was looking. I think it's almost like black Barbie hair.
Yeah. So she did that, and my oldest daughter Mackenzie did the graphics for it and put it all together and digitize it for her old man. So yeah.
Awesome. So these 10 songs on this new record, how were these written over how long a period of time?
They're written over approximately 3 years and about a year of recording, with the exception of the last song, the spring song. I really didn't have a 10th song, and I wanted 10 songs, but for some reason, I didn't have a 10th song. I was like, and I couldn't want to just do something to do it. And I was like, I've always wanted to finish that song, but at the same token, I didn't finish it. I left it. It's a very short song, and it just has it was recorded a long time ago, and it kind of ties in the whole album too. So it's
and these you recorded at your home studio?
I did. Yeah, I have a little setup in the basement. And,
now I haven't heard the record yet, but it's is it just you on guitar, or did you do backing in?
I'm playing drums and playing some drums. I'm not a really good drummer, and I actually called one of my drummer friends came in. He actually played with him for over the years. Will Bauckham does the drums on Stories That Could End Bad. It was kind of out of my skill set, so it was beyond the boom tap boom boom tap. So he came in and knocked that out, and then Jason Duff also did the slide on and the baritone guitar on that last song. But with the exception of that song, they're all just myself.
Nice. Jason is great. We've had him up here. And so as we do want to get as much of this music in as we can, so whatever you'd like to play next, we'd love to hear.
This is I'm Smiling. This is I wanted to turn like negatives into something positive rather than looking at the bad side of it, the good side of it. So.
That's kind of the don't worry theme of the show.
There we go.
Well, this is kind of whenever the youngest child left. I thought I'd feel really good about being an empty nester, but it was really lonely and quiet.
It's a change.
Yeah, it's a big change. So this is kind of about that. It was fast, it was loud, it kept me busy and it made me proud. But now it's quiet as a mouse. It sure has become a much bigger house. Yeah, I'm not crying because it's over. I'm not crying because it's gone away. I'm smiling because it happened. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. Yeah, these aren't tears, no, it's just raining today. I'm realigning and rearranging. I'm still trying to find a way, making sense of all that's changing. But I'm pretty sure the sun will rise today. Yeah, I'm not crying because it's over. I'm not crying because it's gone away. I'm smiling because it happened. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. Yeah, these aren't tears, no, it's just raining today. It's all there in my memory, like a ghost that doesn't wanna leave. Still frames and fading movies, too real to not believe. Not crying because it's over. I'm not crying because it's gone away. I'm smiling because it happened. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. I'm not crying because it's over. I'm not crying because it's gone away. I'm smiling because it happened. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. These aren't tears, it's just raining today. These aren't tears, no, it's just raining today. It's just raining today. Just raining today. It's just raining today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
have a big sound
thank you.
from the
Thank you.
first note that came out. And was wondering, we've been listening to you for, I guess, a few years now. How was that developed, or was that something that maybe started too big and you've had to pull it back?
Well, I've played in rock bands since I was a kid, so
Okay.
yeah, I've always been a get out there and just, go at it.
Turn it to 11 kind of guy.
Yeah. And yet, through this wall of sound that you're creating yourself, the songwriting is really coming through.
Well, thank you.
Where does the songwriting start?
Oh, they're all kind of different. Some of them, you could be walking through a cloud of your head just for days and not really figure out why you are thinking that, and all of a sudden something will manifest and it just kind of comes out. Those are the fun ones, the ones that you really appreciate. Or you have the ones that, the one I play next is Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth, I came up with the riff I really liked. And I don't really write like that typically. I typically write I'll start doing a chord progression or lyrics, and then I'll start humming a melody and the lyrics in my head, and I'll find a chord progression to go with it. But Sweet Tooth, it had the riff that and I don't usually do a lot of riffs, but that riff came up, and I really loved it. And I was like, well, how do I come up with something with that? How do I make that into a song? And then I came up with the idea of just maybe talking about, with the most minimalistic words, describe a very long relationship. So that's kind of the way with Sweet Tooth came about. That it has and I wanted each verse to be like the beginning, the love, the attraction, the lust, but with the most small amount of words. And then the second verse, I wanted to say, hey, this is the good part of the year, is the easy, fun part. And I wanted, again, the most small amount of words. And of course, the end would be them sailing off into the sunset. They're older, harder, more difficult years. So but again, they're all different. They all come at you little different ways.
Well, now I really want to hear Sweet Tooth.
And you might not have been listening, but we heard the production version of Sweet Tooth last week because it just so happened that as we were putting together the Body Parts playlist last week, Chris pinged and said, hey, I've got this new CD out. Do you want to play some tracks from it? And I said, do you have any about body parts?
As soon as you said that, I was like, yes! That was like the best thing anybody ever handed to me. Like, body part, yes, I've got
As a matter of fact, I do. And thank you for telling people it's okay to cry. I know the song was saying, I'm not crying, it's just raining. But the song was basically saying, have all of the feelings. It's okay.
Actually, I've never cried writing a song. And I make a point to, I've never thrown up or cried in public.
Yet.
Yeah.
Goals.
But when I wrote that song, there was some tears shed.
Excellent.
And ironically, my oldest daughter is getting married, and she wants us to dance to that. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Now I'm going to be crying in public, and I don't want to do that.
And dancing in public.
And I'm not really fond of that either.
Chris Myers, y'all.
This is Sweet Tooth. I don't mess it up here. So take two, Chris Myers. Bite down on your lower lip with your teeth so honey crisp. I got a sweet tooth. For you, honey, now. Oh, I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now. Lay back in the tall grass and watch the day go brilliantly past. I got a sweet tooth. For you, honey, now. Oh, I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now.
sinking ship. I'll hold your hand, I'll grab you by the hip. I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now. Oh, I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now. I said, sing loud on this sinking ship. I'll hold your hand, I'll grab you by the hip. I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now. Whoa, I got a sweet tooth for you, honey, now.
That song right there is just sexy.
Thank you.
Everybody, we are here with Chris Myers. You can learn all about Chris out on one place is his website, cmyersmusic.com, or get out on Facebook, or just hang around here and keep listening.
You can't learn all about him because I think there's some stuff missing from the website. For instance, Chris.
Yes, that website just came out. Actually, I just got tutored on how to put dates on there. So
I was about to say, we know you're a denizen of the Greensboro music scene, all of the open mics, all the coffee houses, all the breweries, but where are you playing in the future where people can come and stalk you?
I'm actually going out of town tomorrow morning, so I'm going to be gone for the next 2 weekends. But I'm going to come back in September. I've got some couple nice. I got the let's see.
Maybe that's what I was seeing on the website is that you had a gap there.
Yeah, that's the vacation.
I got
You're allowed to have a vacation?
So the 15th, I'm at State Street Wine Company in Greensboro, and then the following night is the 16th. I'm at Wine Styles in Greensboro. So when I get back, I'm going to jump back in it and hopefully keep as busy as I can.
The previous gigs have a lot of wine. There's a wine kind of theme
I like
going on
wine.
here.
I like wine. So
In fact, Chris, the only person that we've had in the studio has had 2 album release parties, both wine related.
well, they're kind of. I'm sort of a resident at both of those places, and I almost felt like I'd be sliding one if I partied.
Oh, yeah.
So I like both all
Share
the
the
people
love.
there. So I wanted to share the love, and again, it was a party. Nowadays, I mean, what's a release? Because it goes out on the internet, and that's where cars don't even have CDs
And
anymore.
it's done.
So it's hard. It's kind of hard to move CDs. So actually, I sold more shirts than CDs. Ironically, I might just go into the T-shirt business. And
The T-shirts are pretty nice.
Chris,
Y'all
I've been
should buy
admiring
T-shirts.
that guitar. It sounds fabulous,
Yes.
but I can't make it out because the tuner's covering up there. So what do we have there?
A Gibson Advanced Jumbo.
Whoa.
So it's basically a J45.
Yeah.
And it's a reissue. It was put out right before like the Great Depression, and when it hit the fan, they kind of went to the basic J45 and got rid of the inlays and just a little.
Do you have particular strings you like on that guitar? I ask because it's got for being a big jumbo dreadnought style guitar, it's got a nice jangly kind of a sound.
It
Well, I
really
just
does.
changed. That's what these strings were. Actually, I didn't want to change them. I was on the fence of changing them, but the ones were kind of muddy because I recorded the whole album with this. I didn't touch.
And didn't change
I
anything.
didn't change the strings. I don't play this one live. I was like, I can't go on Bob's show with a muddy sounding guitar. So I put these strings. So they're rather. I just put them on the night before last. So.
Kim, you see how thick the body of that guitar is?
I'm really
like-
admiring
well,
it.
Jumbo is, yeah, it is.
I love all J45s or Gibsons are just one of my
No, it's
favorite
classic.
guitar. Yeah.
In spite of the fact he's wearing a Martin T-shirt.
Well, I have
Doesn't want to offend
I
anybody.
like irony too. Well, I play a Martin. Most of my live stuff, I play a Martin. What's it called? Grand Auditorium, and I play between that and the new Fender Acoustasonic. I kind of rotate between those two live. This has never been played other than maybe a friend's house or here because I don't.
Well,
This basically is a friend's house.
Yeah.
And it
I don't
is.
have-
I mean, it is mint looking. I mean, beautiful thing.
And it
I
sounds
beat stuff
great.
Up. I don't want to take this out live. I don't want to put a pickup in it. I just want to keep it.
Nice.
Maybe I'll have a guitar that looks good
Well,
for
it's
a
awesome.
long time.
Chris, we have time before the top of the hour when we have to do some business to get another song in.
Sure. This is more. This is pretty much basically a love song. It's one of those things that you kind of have to like step back and take a look at your life and realize that you got a lot more than you actually thought you did, and it's one of those things.
Amen.
I could tell you a thing or two, I bet you could tell me more. I could let the light shine through all the cracks in the door. What could we learn from each other? It's a game, it's a loss. What could you take from a lover that doesn't come at a high cost? Didn't know what I was looking for, I found sunshine in heavy storms. Didn't know I would find, but somehow I found more. Oh, 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 I found more. I found more. Oh, I found more. Give me time, I'll give you years. We'll find the laughter, forget the tears. There'll still be cracks in the door, but our souls be worn out from dancing on the floor. Didn't know what I was looking for, I found sunshine in heavy storms. Didn't know how I would find, but somehow I found more. Oh, I found more. I found more. Oh, I found more. I found more. Didn't know what I was looking for, I found sunshine in heavy storms. Didn't know what I would find, but somehow I found more. Oh, I found more. I found more. Oh, I found more. I found more. I could tell you a thing or two. I could tell you a thing or two. I could tell you a thing or two. I found more. Oh, I found more. I found more. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Well, if I had my eyes closed, I would think that's a 12-string guitar. I mean, that thing is like
That was the
crazy.
jangly aspect I was mentioning earlier. It really sounds great.
Well, it's probably the new strings on the big body, so that it's kind of given the body, but
Exactly.
then the high end, the crispy strings. So I could see how it would sound like from that end.
Awesome.
It is working really well, and you don't want to give a shout out to the particular strings you bought so you can get
I'm sorry.
sponsorship?
Well, it's funny. I was playing John Pierce, and then I went to go change it. But my other guitar, my Martin, does not like John Pierce strings for some reason. I break them. I don't break them on any other guitar, but the Martin.
Interesting.
So I put Diodarios on that, and I buy those in bulk because I went to go after I cut all these strings. Like, oh shoot.
You can't say that on a radio.
I said I stopped it. I realized that I don't have any John Pierce strings, so I put the Diodarios on it, which might be a little jangier than the John Pierce. But I like the way it sounded, so they might be the new string.
I
for
love
that.
the way this guitar is sounding through my headphones this
Well,
evening.
cool. Well, thank you.
Diodera is my go-to.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's always
all
been my
goes-
electric go-to, and as well. So
Chris, when you were picking out the songs for this record, and I know you have a whole bunch of music, so how did you pick these particular tracks? Was you have a theme in mind,
this
or just
definitely had a theme. As I was writing it, and as I was, and I not intentionally coming up with a theme, but they all kind of came back to like my family, my very personal. And every song I was writing was I was picturing either my relationship with my wife or my relationship with my children or just as a family unit, and they're kind of like day in the life of that really. And I didn't really want to. I had a couple other songs that I've written that I wanted to put on here, but thematically they didn't fit, and I was like, it feels like I was just throwing a song on there to throw it on.
yeah?
So I could smell what was coming. The whole song was kind of having a certain thing about it, and I didn't want to diverge from that. So I just kind of kept it.
And how do
that.
people pick this up?
Oh, they can get. I'm on all the digital formats: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or whatever you want. And of course, they can come see me, or they can at shows. Of course, I sell them at shows. And
Yeah, we really want them to come and see you
That's what I want.
and give you actual money
yes,
for an actual whatever. Because, what does it take? 10,000
Something like
downloads of
10,000
Spotify to get $1
streams to
or
get
something
ridiculous.
like that. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a two-edged sword. It's accessible to people, which is really cool.
Yes.
But the other side of it is that you can't monetize it really unless you're Taylor Swift or somebody of that nature.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
bunch of people listening
Yeah.
to music and saying yay, but that
Yeah.
doesn't really get you a whole
No, it
lot.
doesn't put gas in the tank, does it?
Taylor Swift just turned down the Super Bowl. I understand.
That's
I
a
didn't know.
smart move.
I didn't know that in order to play on the Super Bowl, you have to pay
Yeah,
the
you gotta
NFL.
pay for it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What is that?
You have to pay for your own production and bring everything in. You don't get a lot of support.
She
Just
doesn't-
I didn't know
publicity.
She
that.
was smart to say no.
She doesn't need that.
No,
They're-
she's-
you know.
what does she need?
But speaking of paying,
Everybody, we are WHUP-LP Hillsboro. The show is Pass the Hat, and we are here every Friday from 6 to 8. And we are so fortunate to have an Hour 2 sponsor.
that's right. Support
And-
for this second hour of Past the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthews Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsboro, North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it, we all have chocolate needs. Chris is modeling the latest version of the box of chocolate from Matthews that every guest here on Pass the Hat gets. We don't know what's in it, and if you happen to have any nut allergies, it's okay for you to leave that box behind here in
I
the
will
studio.
not leave it behind, and I like the whole life's a box of chocolate theory, and I want to discover something that I'm not knowing what I'm going to get. So,
I promise you it is good. Matthew is amazing at all of his chocolate
well,
creations.
thank you, Matthew. I can't wait to eat this on the way home. Probably the whole box.
How long you been married?
Oh, a long time. So I won't eat the whole box.
So, Chris, we've reached the second half of your hour live here on Pass the Hat, which means we've entered into the psychoanalysis phase.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Tell us about your childhood.
Really?
How did you start playing music? Why did you start playing music?
I was just enamored from music from day one. That's actually the sticker I brought you. That's actually a Christmas present with my first guitar. Even though it was more of a toy than a guitar, but nonetheless, I was in love with music just from day one, and it's just something I've pursued since my existence, really.
So music was a big thing in your household and kind of encouraged?
Oh yeah, my mom played the piano, and I had two older brothers who were always bringing in new music. So it was music was a big deal. Yeah.
So it wasn't like you picked up a guitar, strummed a couple of chords, and your parents threw you out of the house and you had to make it on the streets.
No, but they weren't thrilled because I started playing when I started playing electric guitar. I'd be in my room.
It got loud,
real loud, and just horrible scales done horribly. And and I'm sure they loved. They didn't love that at all. So.
But the important part is they put up with it.
They did put up with it, yeah, which is very
because they understood the value of music in your life or in anybody's life.
Right. Yeah. No, they were they did put up with it. They didn't throw me out, and but music's just been one of those things that's been with me my entire life, and I'm very thankful for it.
Well, playing the guitar is one thing, but figuring out you're going to write a song is another. Do you remember what possessed you to do that?
It's funny. I would just start. I don't remember. I was like in the junior high era. When you're
Error is right.
Yeah, error. Yeah, when you're moody and depressed and anxious and all the good mental challenges you have, it became a cathartic thing just to work those things out.
Wow.
So I'd write down little lines here or there, and then in high school, actually, I started becoming pretty decent as a writer. I was fortunate enough to go to Greensboro has the Weaver Center, and we had a recording class there, which is really cool. And the instructor was Mr. Follis, I'll never forget. And he had a rule that you weren't allowed to play any commercial music in there. So I just got done with my recording, and the class would play their different recordings. So he walked out of the room, and it was a cassette tape. It was playing, and he comes walking in. He shuts it real hard. He says, "How many times have I told you no commercial music?" Of course, all the kids are like, "That's Myers." Like, that's the song. And my head, of course, grew about 10 sizes. Like, well, maybe I can write a song. So that was kind of whenever I really got the taste to improve and to continue to write and improve it. Again, it's one of those things that just comes to you too. I don't sit down and say, "I'm going to write a song today," or "I'm going to write a song this week." It's sort of a thing that just happens. It just comes to you, and you have to actually, if you don't write it, then something will drastically go wrong inside you. You'll implode, and your brain will be all over the place.
You might be surprised the number of people who come in here and tell us, "I put myself on a schedule. I wake up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee,
I could not do
and
that.
by noon, I'm going to have started writing a song, and in the afternoon..."
Yeah, I know the guys. I'm in a lot of songwriter circles. Jack Gorham and Doodads and those guys. So there's guys there that they do the prompt thing, and they'll have a song.
Right.
I was like, which I admire, the dedication, really. But to me, I just don't see myself doing it that way. But again, everybody has their way of doing it, and
Whatever works.
There's some great songwriters there, so it's working out for them. So I'm not going to knock that theory at all. So.
No, but you're right. You have to go with whatever works with however your brain works in putting things together. And if it's all emotion and in the moment, you just got to be ready to write it down.
It's definitely in the moment, emotional. Again, it's one of those things that has to take place when it takes place.
So you carry your phone with you so you can yell into it?
Phone. I have scrap. My wife loves it. Not at all, but I have scraps of paper everywhere on my dresser. My dresser's a mess. I have a little line here on a matchbook, line there on a Post-it, and torn out or back of a receipt, a couple lines that I really like that line, and I'll save those for whenever you're writing a song and you'll get to that spot where you're stuck. It's like, how do I get out of this spot? I really like what I'm doing here, but then you have to use the mechanics of songwriting, which then you go to this, like, there's a line on my dresser on a Post-it that I know would fit this song. You go up there and
somewhere in this pile.
Well, Chris Myers, you have another one for us?
Of course, yes, sir. Speaking of this one, another one. This was actually getting back to the family thing. Now, when your kids don't live in your house, they which I'm very fortunate, they call, but when they usually call, they call with problems.
They need money.
Money and problem. Not I'm not gonna say that. If they're listening, I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. But they'll have a problem here or there they want to work out, and from their vantage point, because when we're all having our own problems, they seem really big, and you kind of want to talk them off the ledge, and just say, you're gonna be all right. It's gonna be one of those things that you're gonna get through it. So this is hard times. It's kind of one of those songs that, in my mind, I was singing. I was talking to them, because as you guys know, if you're a parent, they don't take advice if it looks like advice.
Not directly,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So this is in my head, I was giving advice. This is hard times.
looking for trouble, you find it. Find love, don't hide it. Hard times will come your way. Trust me, baby, they won't stay. Keep your faith, your hands on the wheel, and you'll have things hard times. Can't steal, no, they can't steal. They can't steal, no. Protect yourself, but not too tight. You gotta let people in your life. If your walls are too strong, your days will be lonely and be long. Hard times will come your way. Trust me, baby, they won't stay. Keep your faith, your hands on the wheel, and you have things hard times. Can't steal, no, they can't steal. They can't steal, no. Hard times will come your way. Trust me, baby, they won't stay. Keep your faith, keep your hands on the wheel, and you'll have things hard times. Hard times will come your way. Trust me, baby, they won't stay. Keep your faith, keep your hands on the wheel, and you'll have things hard times. Keep your faith, keep your hands on the wheel, and you'll have things hard times. Can't steal, no, they can't steal. They can't steal, no. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
More Chris Myers live here on the radio. And kids, feel free to call your parents and ask for money. They may complain that, hey, the only time you call me is when you're asking for money. But what they're really saying is, thank you for calling me. I want to talk to you.
That is so true.
Speaking of your family and such, I think I recall when I first met you some years ago that you've been in Greensboro most of your life, but you've really been out playing music more recently, because you were raising your kids, you were working. So what's the goal now? Like you've kind of emerged, and what happens next?
I would like to actually spread out. I'd like to get beyond the the triangle, trying to get out of.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to make a living out doing this. I've not yet to figure it out. I still have a day job, and which I'm thankful for that too. So I'm not knocking working. I actually enjoy working, but at the same time, I would rather just do this every day. And if I could learn a living doing this and ride off into the sunset, it would be definitely a goal of mine. So yeah.
Laudable goal.
Yeah.
it's the bar's high though.
Yeah. It's
Well,
tough
you're-
to do, but we're all for it.
Oh, thank you.
And you're not the first. There's a lot of us, and I include me in that. I left my house with the guitar for the first time, like I was old. And so here we are, and it's hard to know where to start, isn't it?
It is. Well,
Yeah.
it's you know you want to do it.
Yeah.
And you're pretty sure you can do it, but it's like, how do I actually pay the bills with that?
So give us an example of an obstacle related to that you've overcome, because a lot of people who listen to us are singer-songwriters. So if you were to give advice to someone who is in your shoes, what advice would you give them?
As far as advice to go to which
If you want to become a singer-songwriter who is somewhat professional, like you're working, but you make money doing your music, how do you do it?
well, other than just hard work and going out there and trying to get gigs and
Yep.
a good job at the gigs. I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, and booking to me is not my favorite thing to do. And self promotion is not my favorite either. I like to record.
Yep.
I like to write. I like to play. All those other things to me are difficult to get on the phone and. Hey, can I come play your play? You know, and I need this much to do it. So, and I don't know you. So those things are knocking on the new door of the next venue is not an easy task. And anybody who says it's a piece of cake is not telling you the truth.
That's why so many people are happy to hire somebody to do that for them, to have some
Yeah.
kind of agent or promoter that will
I
make
would
all
love
of
to
that.
have that. Yeah, so that would be actually a good idea, but which I have yet to come across one that is interested in taking up that.
Not that I'm going to recommend any that are good. We do have a couple we work with here on at the radio station who specialize only in getting people on radio shows.
Oh, really?
But radio shows don't pay.
Yeah, well, you're just
I
getting.
mean, other than you getting a
exposure.
box of chocolate.
But hey,
And our giant paycheck that we get every other Friday.
We're not sharing that. But finding someone who can get you gigs, get reasonable paying gigs, there's a
that would be a
huge
wonderful
benefit
thing.
there.
Yeah, so that might be something that I entertain here in the maybe not so distant future. So
I think you could do it with your chops. You've got pretty deep pockets. You've got covers, you've got a rock and roll history, you play well with others, you have recordings, and you play well as an individual. So I don't know. I think you could do it.
Oh, totally agree.
Yeah.
well,
You could make money at this.
I'm giving it
Tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. Yeah, I can do tens of dollars. I'm actually doing tens of dollars now, but
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I know that we have more songs on this album to go.
We do.
Can you play us some more?
You know it. It's funny whenever, actually, when you're changing capos, your tuning is suspect. So that feels pretty good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. This is called Shoulders. So follow me past where the head meets the heart. Try to make it last. Don't go too heavy at the start. 'Cause flames burn out, no fault of their own. You can't count on days that you may never know. Shoulders are for leaning, and ears for bending. The ocean gets its color from the sky. Mama says you're the apple of her eye. The apple of her eye. My, my, my. It's funny how your thoughts are who you are, surrounded by friends or alone in your car. Think of the past and the future meant to be. Pretty much sums everything all up for me. Shoulders are for leaning, and ears for bending. The ocean gets its color from the sky. Mama says you're the apple of her eye. The apple of her eye. My, my, my. My, my, my. My, my, my. Shoulders are for leaning, and ears are bending. The ocean gets its color from the sky. Mama says you're the apple of her eye. The apple of her eye. Shoulders are for leaning, ears are bending. The ocean gets its color from the sky. Mama says you're the apple of her eye. The apple of her eye. My, my, my. My, my, my. My, my, my.
that song brought out Bob's inner entomologist. and, and as I was
etymologist,
thank you. And as you were Googling what you Googled, which he'll tell you in a second, I was thinking, boy, I appreciate a song with scientific facts in it,
Well, it's
which
kind of,
was
not really. It's kind of opposite facts. But it's still,
well, but the ocean does
Yeah.
get the perceptible color from the sky, and I was like,
Yes.
I really appreciate that. Now, what were you Googling, Bob?
I love that the whole concept of apple of my eye, and I was wondering
what's
where
cliche, but at the same time, it's.
but where did that come from? Well, that's just
Well,
the
what it-
stupidest phrase
Well,
ever.
I gotta
The
know now that
apple
you-
of my eye. Well, it actually comes from the fact that there was no word for the pupil.
Really?
And so Shakespeare coined this phrase, apple of my eye,
That's Shakespearean. I did not know that.
to represent the pupil and what you were looking at and what you were focused on. And then it became abstracting from that to
Well, fortunately, his
love.
copyright is long time since run out.
Yeah,
so I'm not
he's-
gonna be in trouble with
forget
the lawyers.
that.
Get the-
See, now you can reference that and be the genius
look
in the
intelligent
room.
for a minute.
There you go.
Wonder why, when they decided they needed to name it, they decided to call it pupil.
what could they call it? Apple.
Yeah, or something.
See, I had no idea that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I didn't either. That's why I
Yeah,
googled
well,
it
that's the
while
good
you
thing
were
about
playing
having
the
a
song.
computer wherever we turn. There's one in our pocket. There's one on there.
We have just a massive disinformation at our fingertips, just ready for us to use.
But that's a good one. That's interesting.
I like
Yeah.
that.
It is a good one. I'm glad you Googled that, Bob. Thank you.
And Kim, you can use that with your students now.
I can.
Yeah.
Yep. For one moment, I can be smarter than my children.
For one brief shining
It's a
moment.
glorious moment.
It really is. Well, I think we've probably got time for at least two songs.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that works out good. This is I Had Enough. This is one of the more slightly desperate songs on the album. It's one of those times where you actually it's a frustrating moments in your life, and that's it. So I had enough. Inside your head, as you turn for home, who do you see there? Did you forget the love? Does it burn strong, or do you even care? And do you think about all the people that you've known? Are you still lost? Can't find the right way to get you back home. Crush that compass under your feet. Grind your heels into the street. Lift your head up, that's all you can do. Say you had enough. Baby, I have too. Say you had enough. Baby, I have too. You're still making plans for happiness to smile on you. Or are you holding hands with everything that's stopping you? Crush that compass under your feet and grind your heels into the street. Lift your head up, that's all you can do. Say you had enough. Baby, I have too. Say you had enough, baby, I have too. Say you had enough, baby, I have too. You say you had enough.
baby, I have too.
All right. Thank you.
Everybody, we've enjoyed this time with Chris Myers tremendously. Chris, we're going to feed you one more opportunity in a minute, but everybody, we know you want to share this show with your friends. You can do that by going WHUPFM.org, click shows, scroll down, and about 8:30 tonight, our show will appear along with about 500 other shows from the last 8 years. But Bob, we're also doing video streaming. Tell people how to find the archive for those.
Yes, you can find the live stream if you're not watching it right now on your favorite streaming services, and your favorite streaming services are YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Look for our handle at Whoop Ass the Hat, at WHUP Pass the Hat. You'll find us on all three of those services, and be sure also to get out to Chris's website, cmyersmusic.com. That's CMYERSMUSIC.com. And enjoy the website, listen to all the music, and stalk him at all the shows he'll be at where you can buy his CDs and the awesome T-shirts.
It's been a pleasure being here, guys. I really thank you so much for having me on.
It has been fantastic.
It's
It's been
been
a while since
really
I've seen
good.
all three of you, and it's good to see y'all here together. It's really
Yeah.
And we're not done with you yet.
Oh, I know. I'm just letting you know how much I appreciate you.
All right.
This is stories that could end bad. This is one of those. As you were talking about that, where they come from. This I also call it pontifa drinking. So sometimes you have a couple of drinks and
Stealing.
they'll just kind of pop up, and so this is one of those.
Sometimes I think nobody loves me, not even Jesus. And sometimes I think that the whole wide world is eating right out of my hands. I can't decide what today's gonna be. I can't read the leaves in my tea. Will the sun come up or will the long dark cloud hover over me? Baby, all my plans are busted, and all my songs are sad. Still I put all my trust in stories that could end bad. It's hard to look into the rising sun and burn your eyes, the tears will run. Sometimes I wish I could pull back the curtain, find the truth and feel so certain. Baby, all my plans are busted, and all my songs are sad. So I put all my trust in stories that could end bad. Baby, all my plans are busted, all my songs are sad. So I put all my trust in stories that could end bad. is eating right out of my hand.
Oh,
Thank you.
dear listener, you have had a wonderful good hour of listening to Chris Myers.
It's been a thrill.
Play his fantastic music here on the radio. Get out to cmyersmusic.com, learn more, listen to all the music, buy all the merch, and stick around because we're going to spend the next half hour listening to whatever music Chris brought in for us to listen to.
Spoiler alert, it's a good one.
One more plug too. I also do the Facebook, all that BS too. Chris Myers Music, and my arm had been twisted the past years. I'm on TikTok too, so I'm
You're
not
twerking
twerking
too?
I'm not twerking, Bob. I know you're disappointed in that, but I might move a leg or two, but not twerking. But so the TikTok sucks. It is fun, so it's gonna. So
TikTok Chris, y'all, you know you want to see it. All right, this is the point where we turn off the live stream, Chris, so say goodbye to the live stream, and y'all keep listening at 104.7 FM or WHUPFM.org to Chris Myers' playlist. You're not waving.
Oh,
there.
sorry.